Hello students, welcome to AriserTalent. Now as you know we are studying about the balanced diet, in which we have already studied about the balanced diet, its components. In previous lecture we studied about the water and fast food. Now we are going to talk about obesity. What is obesity? Obesity means extra fat which is accumulated in the body. Okay, that is known as obesity. Fine. Obesity. So, what is obesity? It is a condition in which a person has extra accumulated body fat. Okay, it is a condition. It is a condition in which an individual or a person gets or has accumulated body fat. Extra body fat, you can also say extra body fat. So thus in the common words you can understand, obesity means when the extra fat get accumulated under the skin, that is known as obesity. Okay, so if a person's body mass index is generally between the 25 to 29.9, then we can say that the person is overweight. But if the BMI is more than 30, then the person is known as obese. If the BMI means body mass index, body mass index of a person is between 25 to 29.9, then he or she is known as overweight. But if the BMI means body mass index is more than 30, is more than 30, then he or she is known as obese. Obese means fat. Okay, so what we should say, that the BMI is proportional to body weight and height. Okay, body mass index is proportional to body weight and height. Okay, so this obese condition actually is very harmful for an individual, because it causes many harmful effects, or it causes a long term negative effect on a person's body. It can cause cancer, it can cause many diseases like breathing problem, or sleep apnea, or cancer. Fine. So or the pain in the joints. Okay, so all those negative effects can occur in a person's body if he can become obese. So what we should do, after eating junk, we should avoid getting extra fat in the body. Okay, so these are the harmful, this is the effect of obesity, that if you will get the extra fat in the body, then definitely there may be many harmful effects on the body. Now the thing is, how this obesity is caused in the body. Okay, causes of obesity. Causes of obesity. How the obesity occurs in the body? It may be intake of excess food. Sometimes it happens with us that the food is too yummy. okay, then we intake it in the excess amount. But sometimes it's okay, but it should not be done on the regular basis. Once you start taking food in the excess amount on the regular basis, definitely that will not be consumed by the body, that will not be completely absorbed by the body. So the extra fat will get accumulated in the body, and then you will become obese. So what are the causes? Number one is intake of excess food. Then, okay, fine, you are eating in enough amount, fine, but you should do the exercise. Once there is a lack of exercise, definitely there will be the accumulation of the extra fat in the body, and then the person will become obese. So another cause is lack of exercise. Why do we need to do this exercise? We need to do this exercise because exercise burn the extra fat or extra calories. So this is advised that everyone should do the exercise. Okay. Then some hormonal imbalance. Okay. If any hormone get imbalance in the body, then definitely it will cause harmful effect on the body, and it can cause obesity. Now these are the causes of obesity, that how a person become obese. Now we will talk about what are the harmful effects of this obesity on an individual's life. Okay, so here let me mention that the harmful effects of obesity are, it can cause many diseases like heart disease, harmful effects of obesity. Heart disease, it can cause heart disease. Okay, generally how it occurs, we all know that once the obesity takes place or when the extra fat get accumulated in our body, then it will affect the flow of blood in the arteries. Fine. So once it will affect the flow of blood in the arteries, then heart will not get the proper flow of blood, it will not get the proper supply of blood, then definitely it will suffer. Okay, then we can say that obesity can cause heart disease. Okay, so what are the heart disease there? Heart disease like atherosclerosis and coronary arteries Okay, so these are the generally diseases which are known as heart diseases, which will be caused by the improper flow of blood in the heart. Okay, next if we talk about the other disease, that is what? That is diabetes. Oh, once again we are talking about diabetes. Diabetes is what do you understand by the term diabetes? When the sugar level in the body increases, that condition is known as diabetes. Generally we all know that the excess amount of blood, or we must say that the sugar level in our blood is maintained or is controlled by the hormone insulin. Fine. But what happens when you will consume extra fat in the body, or you will take fast food, then it will contain extra sugar. Okay, and when the sugar level will increase in the blood, okay, and when the insulin cannot control it, okay, then this condition is known as diabetes. Okay, so we can say that obesity causes diabetes. Now how it happens? There are two reasons. Once you are consuming the fast food regularly, okay, another thing, that once the extra fat get accumulated in the blood, then it will affect the secretion of insulin. And when there will be no proper secretion of insulin, then definitely the sugar level in the blood will increase, and that will cause the diabetes. Fine. So as we know, diabetes means increased, what is diabetes? Increased level of sugar in the blood. Okay, generally it is caused in the adulthood, but these days it is causing, we can see it in the children also. Why? The reason behind that is what? Consumption of extra fast food, okay, consumption of extra fat, consumption of fast food, fine. So what is diabetes? Diabetes means increased level of sugar in the blood. As we know that insulin controls the blood sugar level in the blood, okay. Insulin controls the sugar level in the blood. Okay, now what will happen? Obesity. If a person becomes fat, then what will happen? This obesity will affect the secretion of insulin. Obesity means when the tissues become fat, okay. Obesity will affect the secretion of insulin and it will cause diabetes. Beside it, obesity will cause joint pains, okay. It will cause joint problems. Another thing is joint problems. How it will cause? Means extra fat will compress, or I must say that the extra fat will put the extra pressure on the knees and it will cause the joint problems. Obesity affects the knees and hips because of the stress, placed on the joints by extra weight. Okay, as we all know, whatever fat will be accumulated in the body, it will increase the obesity, it will increase our weight, and that whole pressure of weight will be fall on the knees, on the joints, and it will cause the joint problems, okay, because of the extra stress on the joints. Fine. Beside it, the other harmful effect is sleep diseases as well as respiratory problems. Next is disease is sleep apnea. What is sleep apnea? Actually, what happens because of the obesity, the person will not feel proper sleepy at the night. Means it will cause or it will interrupt the sleeping during the night, as well as the person will feel sleepy during the day. Okay, this is known as sleep apnea, and it will cause the snoring also. Fine. So sleep apnea, generally it interrupts the sleep during night and causes sleepiness during the day. It also causes snoring. Okay, next is respiratory problem. Extra fat or obesity, what causes respiratory problem, how it happens? Actually, the extra fat in the chest wall, okay, what will do it? It will squeeze the lungs and it will cause the respiratory problems. Fine. Beside it, obesity can cause cancer. It can cause cancer. Okay, generally, if the female become obese, then she is more prone to the cancer disease like cancer of gallbladder, uterus, breast cancer, etc. Okay, in females, obesity can cause cancer of breast, gallbladder, uterus, etc. Okay, so these are the harmful effects of obesity on an individual. Now, what one should do to reduce this obesity or to avoid the extra accumulation of fat? One should take what? One should take fiber rich food, means he or she should take fruits and vegetables. One should do the regular exercise and he should avoid the taking food rich of potassium. Okay, regular exercise will help to reduce the fat. Next is what to do in case of obesity or how to avoid obesity. Okay, so one should do regular exercise. Okay, to reduce fat or to burn calories, Beside it, one should take, means the person, he or she should take fiber rich food, like fruits and vegetables. Okay, and one should avoid fast food and the food rich in potassium. Okay, so by following these simple rules, one can avoid the obesity. Fine. So hope everything is clear to you. Then we will talk about blood pressure. Now we will talk about blood pressure. What is blood pressure? We all have listened that the blood pressure of that particular person has become low or the blood pressure of that person has become high. What do we understand by blood pressure? We all know that the heart in our body pumps blood. Okay, it means it maintains the flow of blood in the organs. Okay, so what is the condition which is known as low blood pressure and high blood pressure? Let me explain you. Blood pressure What is blood pressure? Blood pressure is the condition of flow of blood, means the pressure of blood or on the sides of arterial walls. Okay, what is blood pressure? Is the pressure of blood. Blood pressure is the pressure of blood on the sides of artery walls. Okay, generally it is measured by sphygmomanometer, measured by small instrument, that is known as sphygmomanometer. Okay, sphygmomanometer. Generally there are the two units to measure it. One is systolic. Okay, one is systolic and another is diastolic. Another is diastolic. Systolic means the top number of the blood. When we measure the blood pressure by the sphygmomanometer, then the upper number means the top number is known as systolic, and it should be generally 80 to 120. Okay, systolic and diastolic. It is the top number. Okay, and generally it should be between 80 to 120. Okay, and diastolic, it is bottom number, and it should be between 60 to 80. Okay, systolic and diastolic. Fine. So, blood pressure means the pressure of blood on the walls of artery. Okay, and generally it is measured by sphygmomanometer. The upper number means which is known as systolic, it should be between the 80 to 120, and the lower number which is known as diastolic, it should be between the 60 to 80. Now, the blood pressure is of two types, low blood pressure and high blood pressure. Blood pressure is of two types, low blood pressure and high blood pressure. In short, we can say it BP. Okay, generally low blood pressure is also known as hypotension. This is the scientific term. It is also known as hypotension. Okay, when the flow of blood becomes low, that is known as low BP. Okay, and then it is also known as hypotension. Generally it causes what? The symptoms of it are dizziness or feeling sick, dizziness. Okay, these are the symptoms of low BP and high BP. What is high BP? Actually, when the additional fat tissues are there in the body, they need the supply of blood and oxygen. They need the oxygen and nourishment, proper nourishment. At that time, on the heart, as we all know that the heart pump blood for the organs. Fine. So, at that time when these additional fat tissues need extra supply of oxygen and blood for the nourishment, okay, then what happens? There cause a pressure on the what? It cause pressure on the heart, and at that time the flow of blood or the heart pumps blood very fastly, and that condition is known as high BP. Clear? So, let me explain once again. Blood pressure means the pressure of blood on the side walls of artery. Okay, generally it is measured by sphygmomanometer. The upper number should be between the 80 to 120, and the lower number means diastolic should be between 60 to 80. Generally, there are two types of blood pressure. Low blood pressure, when the pressure, or we must say the flow of blood become low, that is known as low BP. Generally, it can cause dizziness, feeling sick or headache. Fine. But high BP, in that condition, the extra fat tissues or the additional fat tissues which are present in the body, they need the proper supply of oxygen and nutrients. Then they cause extra pressure on the heart to flow the blood. At that time, the heart pump blood faster than the normal activity, and then we can say that it can cause high BP, means high blood pressure. Clear? So, in this lecture, I taught you about the obesity and blood pressure. Hope it was interesting and clear to you. Thank you.